Hi, I'm Jess Larson and welcome back to Plays Well with Butter. Taco night is one of our favorite nights here at the Plays Well with Butter house. So today I'm going to show you how to make my crispy black bean tacos. These tacos are crispy, cheesy, oh so good, and everyone who tries them absolutely loves them. In fact, they have quickly climbed the ranks as one of our most popular and most well-loved recipes on our website. I'm pretty sure you're going to be obsessed with them. I know I certainly am. So let's get cooking. So the secret with this recipe in particular is that it comes together very quickly once you start cooking. So before you even think about going to that stove, take the couple of minutes that it takes to dice your onion, measure out your spices. It seems like overkill, but you'll be really happy to have everything prepped and ready within arm's reach once you start cooking. Chopping garlic is not so secretly one of my least favorite kind of kitchen tasks. So the way that I get around it is I use a microplane and I just rub the garlic cloves right along the fine grates of that microplane, and it chops it into like perfect little pieces every single time, and the garlic kind of melts away in whatever you add it to. When a recipe calls for like 2 cloves of garlic, you can always add a couple extra. We measure garlic with our hearts here. Now, chipotle pepper is really readily available at most grocery stores these days, and what it is it is a smoked jalapeno. So it does add some amazing spiciness to whatever you add it to, but since it's smoked, it also has that beautiful smoky flavor. We're ready to begin cooking the black bean filling. This is a super simple stovetop operation. Comes together really quickly. We're gonna start with a little bit of olive oil in a pan, and we'll begin sweating out some onions. As always, season as you go. So I'm gonna add a good pinch of salt and give this a stir. These are just gonna cook for 3 to 4 minutes until the onions soften up and they'll get a little bit translucent in color. So our onions are soft and smelling fabulous, and now we're gonna add in the rest of the aromatics. We have our garlic, we have that beautiful spicy and smoky chipotle pepper, we have our spice blend, which is my go-to taco seasoning blend. It's a combination of cumin, chili powder, and smoked paprika, which adds really nice smokiness, especially if you don't like the heat of chipotle pepper. That's another great alternative. And my favorite little weeknight cooking secret ingredient, tomato paste, which adds extra richness to just about everything it touches. And by taking a minute to sort of let the spices toast and that garlic bloom and that tomato paste richen and deepen in flavor before you add anything else to the pot is going to transform your dish. This is smelling toasty and fabulous, and at this point it's time to add our drained and rinsed black beans. The black beans just go straight into the skillet, and they are what make these tacos taste so satisfying and filling without any meat. So all we're doing now is we're letting those black beans sort of start to warm up and soak up all of the flavors of the onions and those spices and the wonderful aromatics that we added. At which point, we're gonna splash in a little bit of vegetable stock. And once the black beans are warm, you can sort of mash them up to create a really delicious, creamy filling for our tacos. I have a fun little masher that I love to use. That is looking really good to me. You can still see some whole beans, but you can also see that this is a really creamy mixture that's gonna be really easy to spoon into the tortillas before we bake them into the crispiest tacos. So before we pull this off the stove, the last thing I like to add is a little bit of freshly squeezed lime juice. The acidity of lime juice just sort of brightens everything up and brings those flavors to the forefront. The last thing we're gonna do before we start building our tacos is quickly warm up these tortillas. So these are just good old store-bought corn tortillas. We're just gonna wrap our corn tortillas in a damp paper towel, like so. And the moisture in the paper towel is actually going to steam the tortillas as it all warms up in the microwave, which makes the tortillas a lot more pliable and easy to work with as we build our tacos. Our black bean taco filling is ready to go. Our tortillas are nice and steamed and warm. And the last thing that we're gonna do before we begin taco assembly is just freshly grate some cheese. I'm using pepper jack cheese, but you can use whatever melty cheese you like most at your house. What I like to do is I like to drizzle the olive oil directly on the sheet pan that I'm gonna be baking the tacos on. If you have a little pastry brush, you can definitely use it to spread it out over the surface of the pan. And from there, we're just gonna grab our warm corn tortillas and pop them right on the sheet pan. And what we really want here is for both sides of the tortillas to be coated in that oil. So all I do is I flip it, and since we generously oiled the pan, there's enough to coat both sides really nicely. As far as tortilla assembly goes, you're just going to take a spoon and spoon a good portion of our black bean taco filling right alongside one edge of the tortilla. And we're gonna cover it in cheese. Add a good amount of cheese because we want that to get really gooey and cheesy. And then we can fold it over and seal these shut. And I like to just sort of flip them to help seal it shut. If the tortillas break a little bit as you are folding them, that's kind of the nature of store-bought corn tortillas. You might have a little bit of breakage, but it's totally fine. It's still gonna taste delicious. I love using this filling in tacos, but it is also great on a little taco salad if you are into nachos. Great on nachos too. So you can really think of it as your go-to all-purpose black bean taco filling. We're gonna pop these in the oven. I have the oven preheated to 450 degrees, and these are gonna bake about 8 to 10 minutes per side. Our beautiful black bean tacos are about halfway through cooking, and we're just gonna use a spatula to carefully flip them. I mean, look at that gooey cheese we're already starting to see happen on the sheet pan. My tacos are flipped, and they're just gonna go back in the oven for another 8 to 10 minutes until that second side is super crispy and golden brown. And these are sizzling and crispy and golden brown, and they smell so good. And from here we can just plate up our beautiful crispy golden brown tacos. You can enjoy these tacos as is. They are absolutely fabulous, but I think a little bit of fresh cilantro never hurts, especially on taco night. And my favorite sort of like quick taco fixing is just smashed avocado. I smashed some avocado with a little bit of salt and some fresh lime juice. It is like a quick and dirty guacamole, and it is so good with tacos, on nachos, on anything. Another quick and simple add-on that I like to keep in my fridge at all times is just quick, simple pickled red onions. They add flavor, they add brightness, they add tanginess. Another little sprinkle, and these are ready to serve. There is no graceful way to eat tacos, but that's kind of not what tacos are about, right? You just dig right in. The crispy edge where that filling and that cheese hits the sheet pan as the tacos bake up, that is the bite that you want. That is it. Crispy black bean tacos in 30 minutes or less at home. Weeknight cooking does not get better than that. I hope you give this recipe a try soon and share it with the people you love, and be sure to like and subscribe for more easy yet flavor-filled weeknight recipes. And while we're at it, why don't you let me know in the comments below, what are your favorite taco night toppings? I can't wait to hear.